Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Friday Facts Reacts. Number 385, Asteroid Collectors, Ghostfied Gamer. We got a post by Arundel Hursa. I'm not familiar with that name. They might have hired some people. I don't keep track of the hiring at wube there, but looks like we've got an Asteroid Collector, spot here. So this should be interesting. Okay, so it says here, hello, we've already shown the space platform processing cycle in the 380, Friday Facts 380. Let's talk a little bit more about the machine, which makes it all possible. The Asteroid Collector, Origin of the Tentacles, by Aaron All. Okay. When I was working on the early space platform concepts, trying to figure out how movable ships would look, we knew that we wanted some way of getting parts, it says of asteroids. Okay, parts of asteroids into the ship, but hadn't decided how that would be done. At this early stage, all of the new structures had very simple placeholder graphics. Yeah, that's usually how they do it. They get the code in and they do the graphics for it. And then the graphics take a while because you got to get all the rotations if there are any and all that. Look at this. This looks pretty cool. All right, so although we start with gray boxes, it's best to get those replaced with something that looks more appropriate as soon as possible. The earliest placeholders are usually a quick sketch of something in the right general shape. Something kit-bashed, patched together from existing graphics, or something grabbed from my mods. Oh. For the Asteroid Collector, a fairly generic side-mounted structure was used as the placeholder. Now, there is a side-mounting thing in space exploration to dock spaceships, so maybe that's what he used. If we stuck with something like this, then presumably it would use some sort of tractor beam to pull in asteroid chunks. Tractor beams, or electro-grapplers, etc., are the easy fallback option for this sort of situation because it's simple concept to animate and code. Okay. So this is kind of a concept art, and this looks like a tractor beam, and it looks like I don't know if this is how it works, but it looks like a belt's coming right out of it. You know, that's just concept art though, I guess. Look at the background. That's pretty cool. All the stars. Pretty neat. A tractor beam just didn't feel very Factorio. It's too far into the magic ethereal sci-fi direction, and it's used all the time. I wanted something more mechanical, and Albert agreed. Tractor beams were out. It's not that Factorio doesn't have high-tech stuff, it's just better to do it in a way that's more tangible and industrial when we can. I invented a lot of alternative options, but here are 5 along with some proof-of-concept sketches. All right. Rocket-guided harpoon or bag. Oh, there's a little cable on here. Oh, that's kind of cool. Small rockets that would wrap the asteroid chunk in a bag on impact, then pull it to the collector mouth using a tow line. That's pretty cool. It looks like they got a little crusher on here. Oh, so this is a little port that it's kind of like a miner. That's pretty cool. Yeah, this seems kind of a little bit even outlandish, having a net pulling an asteroid in, but, I guess it works. I mean, well, maybe this would be better, more feasible than something else, though. Tractor beams are way out. Oh, look at this. Okay. A long inserter-like arm. Oh, that's kind of cool. Now, this would be very tricky to get, like how your arm, there's a lot of physics involved in tensile and strength of material and stuff, because even though you're in space, it has to move the arm. There has to be energy, so maybe this wouldn't be as feasible as this, although you have to aim and you might miss, kind of like Raft, where you have to cast out and hook into resources. That's how Raft is. I've never played it, but I know how it is. So anyway, like an inserter, but dedicated to grabbing asteroid chunks. It would put the chunk into the machine mouth or directly onto the belt behind. Oh, okay. And then we've got a paddle. This is even more not feasible. Like a paddle? What do you know? Smack it? Like a ping pong ball? Like the inserter arm, except that it doesn't need to grab the chunk. It just needs to bat it into the direction of the collection mouth. Yeah, that's not really... This would be probably the worst in concept, Oh, look at this. What's this one here? Scoops. Now, scoops sound pretty cool. Yeah, this is more feasible. Look, see how the asteroids are falling in? Now, raft, eventually you do get these nets, and you float over the material, so it's an auto collector. You don't have to constantly cast a hook. Okay, so the collector itself would be a hole, would just be a hole in the platform side that only collects chunks that happen to fall into it. This would be paired with a set of wedge-shaped blocks you could add to the front of the platform, so that if you're moving and a chunk hits the wedge, it glances off. And this way you could guide the chunks to the collector hole. This idea sounds fun initially because it makes the front shape of the ship important, but the downside is that most ships would just end up being a V, W, or triple W. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I don't think there's anything wrong with it because, you know, ships, like in space exploration or, you know, airplanes in general, they have a V shape, you know? So you're not going to have a, well, I don't know. It depends on aerodynamics and stuff, and I'm not an aviation person, so, but, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, you know, whatever. But I get his idea, though, and the claw thing seems to make sense. So we got, unlike the inserter-style arm, this would act on the same ground plane as the asteroid chunks and the platform itself, meaning it would need to snake around any protruding defenses. This is an interesting option to build with as the platform shape affects the interception time. Okay. I thought I could do something pretty cool with the flexible arm idea. I started with a set of sketches trying different machine structures and collector mouth shapes. The arm itself is most similar to the design of real-world snake robots, but with it being anchored at one end, it quickly became known as the tentacle. It is also worth noting that I moved the crushing function out of the asteroid collector to a dedicated machine. This let the crusher be used again by some late-game advanced recipes and expand the middle of the platform. Okay, that's cool. So he took the crusher out of the arm, and now it's an actual new machine along with the tentacle grabber thing. So that's pretty cool. We got a lot of different concept art here. If you want to pause the video, you can take a look at those. Below is the concept art I presented to Kovarex. Up to this point, people are skeptical about the snake or tentacle idea, so it was down to the concept art to win people over. Otherwise, we might be back to square one. Fortunately, as soon as Kovarex saw this, he was on board, and other people were convinced too. Husra, I think it's Hrusa, stepped in to make it a reality, so he can take it from here. Cool. So, oh wow, look at that. That is pretty cool, though. Oh, there's more. Okay. Yeah, I like the tentacle because it's light. You can make it with lightweight material. It has probably some sensors on it. It can move. You know, its range is limited, obviously, by material, but you know, you can only go out so far and grab something. You can't go millions of miles with it, obviously. But this is more, I think. Maybe there's sensors up here, and these are sensors or lights or something like that. And then the arm can be. It's basically, it doesn't have any restrictions on range of motion. That's kind of what I'm thinking. All right, from concept to reality. Oh, wow. Okay. Taking a step back in time now, let's talk about how the gameplay side of things unfolded in the meantime. As a keystone feature of the platform production cycle, the collector started its life under Arundel's hands as a gray box. It was a simpler time. Asteroids were not even a thing back then, so the machine was just an assembler with continuously crafted chunks out of thin air. Once we had asteroids in the game, the first version that actually collected them cast a simple rectangle around it. Any entering chunks would immediately get teleported into the collector's inventory. Nothing flashy, but enough for playtesting. The next advancement was to collect asteroids mechanically. Our seeding kicked things off by implementing Arundel's earlier harpoon idea. Okay. Let's see here. So we got, there's the engine there. These are the, I wonder, this is, I don't know what the H and a C stands for, but obviously the tentacles are coming out. And oh wow, look how far they go. Oh cool, look at it, it grabbed it. Snagged it. They bring, oh, okay. See how it's changing? It comes in and then it just disappears. So obviously this is like a playtesting kind of thing. Okay. At this point, the collector would be placed anywhere on the platform, requiring it to touch the edge, similar to the offshore pump was considered. Okay. But no conclusions had been made yet. Testing with self-imposed limitations took place, and it quickly exposed a crucial problem. Oh. Since the effective reach was relatively long, the optimal strategy was to always inset the collectors away from the lucrative platform edge. Such setup invited little decision-making from the player. The entire edge would be dedicated to turrets, while the interior provided plenty of room to unload and process chunks. On top of all that, the visuals of the harpoons or arms reaching over other things for chunks at platform level were dubious at best. Okay. The logical conclusion was that the collectors should require access to open space. This happens to create an interesting dynamic between defenses and resource collection, and rewards efficient belt usage. Ooh. That was the time when Arundel was putting together a concept for more organic feeling bendable arm, which ultimately made it into the game. The Day of the Tentacle. All right. Oh, interesting. We got some stuff down here. Now it was up to me to figure out how to make it all happen. With the expected behavior laid out, I could separate the task into multiple individual features, quite like you do while playing Factorio itself. You want to move at increments which can work on their own. All right. Drawing the arm, just that, no other behavior function. Moving the arm between poses, weaving the arm around the platform without clipping or colliding isn't even possible in all cases. Making the collectors not waste time by fighting over the same chunks. Okay. For reasons that will be helpful later, I decided to express a particular pose as a segmented line. A series of angles starting from the base. Additionally, each pose includes an extension value. This way the arm can slide up and down along the length of the curve without calculating any new points. Look at all these rotations, man. That takes work. That takes time to make all this stuff. And then all these different things here for the extensions. Wow. Man, they're putting in some work on this. Arm pose expressed as a list of angles and extension amount. Link rotations used to draw the collector arm. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so here... Oh, these still got placeholders on this one here. Next, I tried adding a control curve, which put some swing into the arm movement. But it turned out a little weird. Oh, look at this. Woo! Oh, that's pretty funny. Oh, yeah, they're kind of whiplashing around. Some of them look okay, but yeah, see how they're whipping around? Yeah. Look at all these little asteroids, or little chunks, or whatever you want to call them. Change of plans. Oh, wow, look at this. All right. While thinking about the collector, we decided it needs to be able to harvest additional chunks after it's been extended. Since the arm is represented as a series of angles, we can blend between the starting and desired pose by simply blending each individual one. Wow. Okay, ideally we'd want the claw to move in a consistent speed. However, because we are blending angles, said speed varies greatly. Depending on whether the arm is extended to 10 or 20 units, turning the base by 5 degrees will lead to a vastly different results. Even though the arc of the traveling collector appears circular, it is in fact a complex shape which cannot be easily measured. Wow. So instead I found a way to weight all the individual angles together quickly and project the arm position into a circle. Then I measured the distance between two arm poses on a circle to get good and consistent estimate of the traveling distance. So he's using geometry and math to get this all going here. Wow, look at this. I guess, yeah, this is kind of like a testing, you know, he's testing certain conditions here. Simulation, yeah, that's what I was looking for. Simulation of the arm bend I made to test my calculations. The arms are projected into the teal circle to estimate the arc travel distance. Ah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, look at these weird kind of things like this purple line here. And yeah, look, see how it's kind of changing. Oh, that's really cool how they... See, that's what's fun about software sometimes is that you can have to come up with stuff to test your own stuff. to make sure it works, you know? All right, the final design problem is that there are a lot of different ways for the arm to travel between two poses. That is because the angular speed relationship mentioned above. The shorter the arm is, the faster it can turn. But it also takes some time to retract it and extend to reach the optimal traveling distance there. Okay. Just like the width of the arc distance, I've spent some time trying to express the mathematical problem, and due to a true solution, then I realized that I can get really close with the much less effort. Instead of searching for the absolute best extension to swing at, I chose extensions at some fixed interval, compute the distance traveled for each, and select the best one. In practice, you can't even tell the path is plus minus 0.05 units from the absolute best arc. There is no take. Oh, there is to take. Okay, got it. There is to take. Okay. So, okay, there's two grabber arms here. He's measuring a bunch of different distances here. So, man, that's pretty cool. That is really cool. He took it took him this, to this level of trying to figure it out. Showing 3 of the paths considered for movement, increments at which the turning radius is considered the highest. Are highlighted. Oh, okay. All right. There you go. Very cool. Around this time, we started debating the performance cost. Kovrik's liked the feel of the arms a lot, but wanted to ensure that all the links being simulated would not impact large factories with dozens of platforms. To that effect, we could use the previous step. Since we've ensured that the claw travels at a predictable speed, we do not need to update its position every tick. Once the desired path is found, we store its distance. Then we increment a single internal number which tracks how far along this path the claws traveled. Only if the arm is visible to the player do we evaluate the actual intermediate arm pose. Okay, so there you go. Going around the block. Oh wow, look at this. They got a grid here and all this. Holy cripes! And then they've got all these vertices points and stuff. All right, with the arm motion covered, I moved over the pathfinding problem. The initial idea was to pull a classic A* and map out all adjacent tiles to find the shortest path to the collector from each one. However, the records of each tile took up a lot of space, and the resulting paths ended up being very jagged, which looked terrible and required further processing. Furthermore, the collectors often sit around wide open areas, traversing those tile by tile every time a chunk floats by. It's an absolute overkill. Okay. In the light of this observation, I've decided to implement a navigation mesh. Oh, okay. A nav mesh covers the open areas with large rectangles. Then it casts rays to find all the direct connections between significant corners of those rectangles. The construction and maintenance of the nav mesh takes some computational power whenever the player builds platform tiles, but in return, the much more frequent pathfinding is greatly sped up. Even better, the paths we find on a nav mesh are the shortest and simplest possible. There you go. Okay. You could probably keep, I wonder if they're going to have it where if you press F5, you can pull this up and kind of check it out and see how it's working. That is pretty cool. Wow, neat. All right. Okay, so the old navigation, notice the jagged path. Oh, the final nav mesh system. Oh, there we go. Okay, so jagged paths are here, I guess. And they got this weird loopy loop here. And this is going out to grab something there. So this is the updated, and it's more of a vertices, I guess. Yeah, I got all these different, yeah, look how it's building it. Okay, cool. All right. To make the polygonal, that's it. To make the polygonal nav mesh path more palatable, I approximate it using a non-uniform rational B-spline, NURBS. Holy cripes, man. These guys are getting crazy with this stuff, man. Which smooths out the sharp corners. The nice property of NURBS is that it is quite reliably hugs the guided points that make it very popular in 3D modeling applications. Okay, so this is a concept in 3D modeling, which I don't do, so that's why I was like, what? Besides smoothing, there's a few other minor tricks I use to enhance the look. Having a minimal retraction distance between each collected chunk to prevent vacuum cleaner collecting. Okay. Give the claw horizontal wind-up and landing when the targets are in line to prevent pogo collecting. Wiggling each arm slightly at random to stop them turning in a corner in unison. Leading swings with the base of the arm to make the front appear to be dragged. Okay. Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, so these are kind of like areas that it can go into. Oh, I see. Wow, look at this thing go crazy. That's pretty cool. So it goes grab, 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 and that's all it could do. So these are the points of pickup, and it looks like there might be something here. It looks like this is where the start point is, where it can come in. So they stop. It goes, oh, I can go back. Grab. Oh, wait, grab. Oh, wait, grab. Oh, wait, grab. Oh, wait, grab. And that's all I can do. That's really cool. That is really cool. Ah, predictors. Okay. Holy cow, look at this. One known issue around the time I was starting out with the collectors was platform speed. With high-quality thrusters, the platform could eventually move so quickly that turrets could not turn fast enough to shoot incoming asteroids in time. I knew this could be a big problem for the collectors as well. And note that he said high-quality thrusters. Oh, so yeah, this is going to get crazy with the quality system. Oh, that's going to be fun. The collectors cannot just constantly test every chunk, every frame. It was necessary to narrow down the selection. To that effect, every time a new chunk spawns, it will cast a line forward and register with all collectors along the way. Okay. Since the limiting factor is availability of arms, it is the arm which checks for incoming chunks whenever it finishes its previous task. This design gives us room to project the chunk position forward based on how long it will take the given arm to get to it and arrange a punctual rendezvous. Additionally, super fast chunks no longer pose a problem because even those will be registered in advance. The arms move into position and intercepts the chunk in the moment they touch the collector area. Okay. So wow, look at this, man. This is insane. Look at this big chunk here. Oh, okay, hold on. Does it take that one out? Oh, okay, so the laser turrets are shooting them. You can see the bar, like when you're hitting a nest or some kind of entity. The bar is going down, like it was green, yellow, and then red, and it breaks apart. Then the arms go grab, 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 grab. Oh, that is so cool, man. Yikes. And oh, this is spitting out the ice that you don't need here. Okay. Predicted chunks movement with connections to registered collectors. Sped up. Oh, okay, this is fast. Okay. Well, we can't see the stuff down here, though. So here's the conclusion. Once all the major work was wrapped up, it was just a matter of finishing off the smaller details before the collector was ready to go in the master branch. This is things like the building restriction, blueprint support, copy-paste, etc. Since the nav mesh and NURB system were all new code, there was a lot of writing tests. Wow. Chasing down edge cases and fine-tuning the performance. Overall, in our playtesting, we're happy to say that the Asteroid Collector works really well to give the platforms the unique look and gameplay that we're hoping for. Oh, that is so cool. And as always, we look forward to collecting your opinion chunks at the usual places. I love it when they do that, when they add like some kind of twist to what we're talking about to, hey, let us know. So that is awesome. Well, there you go, folks. I'm glad we've got this because it gives us a little more insight as to what we're looking for with these space platforms. One thing as I'm looking at these platforms, they're kind of ugly, and they don't look very clean. They're just kind of like here plopping metal down. I'd like to be able to design something pretty, like with space exploration. The spaceships are so cool and crisp. And this just looks like a big blob of scrap metal thrown up in space and, flying forward. I'd really like to be able to design something more spacecrafty looking, you know? Kind of like, you know, I could see people doing Star Trek, you know, things. But I mean, I understand what they're trying to do here, but the platforms just look ugly to me. Like this, I mean, I understand what they're doing. They're trying to make it look steampunky and all that. But to me, this just looks like just a big chunk of metal, you know, in space. And I'd like to see something a little, you know, more pretty, I guess, you know. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the Friday Facts. You know, every week is one more week that we have less to wait for Factorio 2.0 and the space age, space age and the quality system. So, yep, there we go. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you next week. Peace out.